Officers from the UK's Medicines Agency make the final preparations for a dawn raid on a house in eastern England. Accompanied by local police, they have a warrant to search the property which they believe could be being used to trade in counterfeit or illegal medicines. It's just one of more than 150 raids made this year alone by the enforcement unit of the Medicines Agency, the MHRA. And it's a similar picture across Europe, with police and health authorities carrying out similar operations. The European Commission says it's extremely worried by the number of counterfeit medicines arriving in Europe. In 2008, 34 million fake tablets were seized in just 2 months during a special EU customs operation called Medifake. The MHRA's head of enforcement points to a worrying trend of organised criminal gangs moving away from drug trafficking and into fake medicines, where prison sentences are lower and the profits higher.
It's extremely lucrative, so it's money that motivates the people that are behind this, and you know the profits are huge for the investment that you have to make. That coupled with the fact that this is low risk and high profit. So that balance is definitely in the criminal's favour.
Here in the MHRA's evidence storeroom, there are literally millions of seized counterfeit tablets with a face value of more than 10 million euros. A growing number of these are fake versions of prescription drugs used to treat serious illnesses ranging from cancer to schizophrenia. Some of the packaging is now so sophisticated that it's even fooled the professionals. Alarmingly, some of these fakes have penetrated what is called the legal supply chain and been unwittingly handed over by pharmacies to patients.
Yes, of course that's a worry and that's a concern. And because we've seen a few cases in the UK where this has happened, we take this extremely seriously. Not only is it dangerous to public health, but it undermines the public's confidence in the way they obtain their medicines.
79-year-old Doreen Wilson has been taking a well-known anti-cholesterol drug since undergoing heart surgery 14 years ago. She had never heard of counterfeit medicines until 5 years ago, when her husband Lawrence read in a newspaper that thousands of fake versions of the drug had been dispensed to patients. More importantly, he saw that packets with a particular batch number were being recalled. After arriving at their local hospital for Mrs. Wilson's regular check-up with her heart specialist, they described their reactions at discovering the batch number on her tablets was the same as the one on the fake packets.
Well, we noticed the announcement in the newspaper and they gave a number which I checked against mine and it was identical. So we took it back to the pharmacist who exchanged it for obviously the normal tablets.
Looking back at press reports of the 2005 recall, the Wilsons have since discovered the suspect batch number was identical to a real batch number. This meant genuine products were also included in the recall, so Mrs. Wilson may not in fact have taken counterfeit tablets. In any case, she suffered no adverse effects, but the scare dented the couple's confidence in the public health system.
I was quite surprised and horrified that this could occur. One hears of much fraud in other lines in this day and age, but it had not entered our heads previously that the medical world could be affected. And when one sits down and thinks about it, the consequences could be quite frightening.
Mrs. Wilson's cardiologist, Dr. Graham Jackson, has taken a special interest in the issue of counterfeit medicines. He agrees that in other circumstances the outcome could indeed have been very different. He says that's because counterfeits often contain less of the essential active ingredient or none at all, and can even be contaminated.
If you look at cancer-treating drugs, obviously people taking these drugs are relying on them to regress the cancer or even cure the cancer. And to have fake drugs which are absolutely doing nothing, or perhaps even poisoning them, that is a very serious state of affairs. And in my view, it's akin to manslaughter, because these people know they're depriving people of essential life-lengthening medication and turning it into a life-threatening situation.
The authorities in Europe are now preparing measures which they hope will make it much more difficult for criminals to get fake drugs into the legal supply chain. They recognise that a failure to do so could result in a catastrophic loss of confidence in the entire public health system.
It's incredibly important that the patient trusts the medicinal product. If he or she does not and decides not to take a vital medicine, the consequences could be disastrous.
The European Directorate for the Quality of Medicines and Healthcare is part of the Strasbourg, France-based human rights organisation, the Council of Europe. It plays an integral role in the regulation and quality control of medicines across Europe. Since 2005, it's been working on a comprehensive Medicrime Convention aimed at criminalising the manufacture, supply and trafficking of counterfeit medicines, as well as introducing tougher punishments and promoting closer international cooperation. It's hoped the convention will be open for signing by national governments early next year.
It's clear that although only few cases of counterfeit medicinal products have been detected in the legal supply chain so far, there are many indications and suspicions that they're spreading. It's very difficult to verify whether medicinal products are counterfeit or not. In order to succeed in this matter, it is necessary for control laboratories and authorities to work together. If this isn't done, the potential damage will be huge and cause great public anxiety.
In addition, the European Parliament is due to give a first reading to complementary proposals by the European Commission before the end of this year. These are aimed at improving the regulation of medicines, in particular the packaging. The introduction of new pan-European security markings would try to ensure that any medicine could be traced back to its source of origin. The European pharmaceutical industry body EFPIA recently coordinated this successful pilot project in Sweden for the use of a two-dimensional data matrix code for possible introduction across all 27 EU member states. Meanwhile, back at the raid in eastern England, only a few items are found, despite a further search in a second building. These are taken away for analysis. But even when this case is closed, the hunt for more counterfeit products will continue.